Hi guys, this is Khalid, also known Alyabani. I am an accessibility content creator. Joining me today is Braden Cole, also known Super Blindman, as well as fellow gamers of the blind community. We will be talking about so many things, specifically about blind accessibility and what have you. So let's go around and introduce ourselves, shall we? Talking to you is Khalid, who likes anime, gaming, TV shows, etc. Brandon?
Indeed. My name is Brandon Cole. I am a professional accessibility consultant in the video game industry. Um, I've worked on The Last of Us Part 2, which I'm sure we'll be talking about a lot during this interview. But I did that. I have a bunch of other contracts open, but that's not all I do. I'm also a streamer, an occasional podcaster, a voice actor on the side, an audio description narrator, a voice judge for the annual Voice Awards. Um, man, I'm a lot of things. I do many things, but the emphasis is on accessibility and showing that to the world and convincing other people to make their games/ products more accessible.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Abdullah. I am 23 years old. I am totally blind gamer. I like games of all their kind, video games, audio games, and I like to watch TV shows and movies.
Hi, my name is Rakan almotiri. I'm a content creator from Saudi Arabia. I talked mostly about the blind accessibility in video games and The Last of Us Part 2.
So, Brandon,
Indeed.
could you tell us who is Brandon?
Well, I think I covered most of it, but like I'm just a guy who cares about games, and I have a huge passion for games and the industry as a whole, and that led to the increase of my passion for accessibility in games. I am known for my ability to publicly speak. I tend to do well speaking publicly because my passion comes through every time that I talk about this stuff. So I'm known for that. And other than that, I'm just a guy. I mean, I like my Netflix too. I like my TV shows and my music and all that fun stuff, just like anyone else does. I'm enjoying just as much as anyone the accessibility that I worked on and the accessibility I didn't work on, like the World of Warcraft mod. I'm playing a lot of World of Warcraft Classic nowadays,
Yes.
and I had nothing to do with it, and it's great. It's just great to see blind accessibility becoming such a larger part of the conversation. And that's not really about me, but I don't know what else to say.
I feel you. I feel you. So, what got you interested in gaming and eventually becoming a streamer?
So those are two different questions, really. What got me interested in gaming is when I was very young, my brother played a prank on me, which is kind of infamous nowadays because I always tell the story at every place I speak.
Yes.
Where my brother said to me one day when I was about 6 years old, he's older than me, he's like 5 years older than me, and he said to me, "Hey, you want to play Super Mario Brothers?" And my 6 year old self actually kind of dismissed it at first and like, but that's a video game. The word video is in that. That means, I can't play it because I'm blind. And somehow he convinced me to try it anyway. I don't know how he did it. I don't remember how he did it, but he convinced me to try it anyway. So we head into the room where our Nintendo Entertainment System is, and he fires up Super Mario Brothers, hands me a controller, and we're off to the races. And before you know it, I'm breaking bricks, collecting coins, getting extra lives, and defeating enemies and saving princesses, and it's amazing. And I feel so awesome. And somehow, on my very first try, I beat the entire game. How did I do it? I can't believe it. And then, as the end game music is playing, my brother delivers the punchline, which is that he handed me the unplugged second player controller while he played the entire game. So I didn't actually do anything. At the time, I was pretty crushed by this, but I remember at the time I made a vow that one day I would beat a game without his help. And that's what got me interested in gaming. That's what got me started. I just started trying games,
Yes.
experimenting, seeing what worked and what didn't work. And eventually I did. I beat a game without his help, and it was the very first Killer Instinct for Super Nintendo. It was my first game that I ever beat. And I never looked back after that. I just kept playing games, I kept trying things, kept learning about sound and that there's often patterns in a game that you can find if you really look for them. Things like that. And that's I just kept going. And you know that I guess my path into gaming, thinking at first that I couldn't play and discovering little by little that I could play, I think that is what helped to spawn my interest in accessibility, because I didn't think about this for several years. I thought about it finally, I think 3 years ago, that I finally had this realization, is that I was an accessibility consultant in my head for a long time, for much of my life, because I would always, every time I encountered a game I couldn't play, I would always speculate on what I would need, what it would take to make that game playable by the blind. And I even wrote a letter to THQ. This is another story I tell a lot. I wrote a letter to THQ about the SmackDown series, the WWF SmackDown series, back in the SmackDown 2 days, for PlayStation 1. I wrote a letter to them and suggested a few things. Like, hey, I can play this game, but if it had this, this, and this, and this, it would be much better for me and much more accessible for me. And, they sent me back a form letter, and you could tell it was a form letter and not something that was written by a human being, because the letter started out, "Thank you so much for your appreciation of our tremendous graphics." Can't see your graphics, THQ pals, buddy pals. Nope. So that was a thing that happened. But still, I had done it. I had taken that step and written that letter. And then fast forward to about 2005 or so, where my now fiance Misty said 3 words to me that basically started my whole career. And they're not the 3 words you're thinking of. They are, "You should blog." That's what she said to me. And at the time, I reacted negatively, because apparently that's how I handle things. And I said, "I don't blog very well. I have a live journal, and I can't even keep up with that." Keep in mind, this is 2005, where everyone had live journal. So I told her I couldn't blog, but she convinced me by saying that there really was, she noticed the things that I was thinking, because I was always saying these things to her, like, man, if only this game had this feature, I could play it. Or if only this game could do this, I could play it. And she said, there's no one doing that. There's no one doing that on the internet. There's no resource for that. You could be that resource. Write a blog. So she got me to do it. I started blogging. Now, admittedly, I was pretty bad at it at first. I really was. I think I posted something like every few months, maybe if that, like maybe like once or twice a year for a while.
Yeah.
But it was pretty bad. But the thing is, it was just enough. Somehow it was just enough, because my blog got the attention of a guy named Brian Schmidt, who was doing a panel in 2014 at GDC, the Game Developers Conference.
Yes.
And his panel was about accessibility in mobile gaming. And he invited me onto that panel as just the gamer perspective, just the blind gamer side of the discussion. That's all I was back then, just the gamer perspective. So I agreed. I went to GDC in San Francisco in 2014, and I was on that panel, and apparently I did very well at that panel. I was told by all of my panel mates that I, quote unquote, killed it. The reviews from the crowd was very positive as well. But the really big thing that happened at that panel is I met the co-moderator, Ian Hamilton. Now, most people know who Ian Hamilton is in the accessibility community. He is probably the greatest accessibility advocate of all time, has advocated for every type of disability for years and years and years, and does a tremendous job of it. And it so happens that he co-created the Game Accessibility Conference, or GAConf for short. And after that panel, 3 years later, after that panel in 2017, he invited me, because of that panel, to speak at the very first Game Accessibility Conference. And that is basically what led to the real kickoff, the ultimate final, the final nail. Well, not nail in the coffin. That's not the appropriate metaphor. I guess the final straw. The final straw that really kicked off my career, because when I went to that panel, when I went to the Game Accessibility Conference in 2017, Ian made sure to tell us all the speakers that were there that day, he wanted us to know who was in the audience, who was represented from the gaming industry in the audience. And he happened to mention that Naughty Dog was there. So, I decided to try and make my own luck for once.
Yes.
And during my speech at GAConf 2017, I said, I don't think this is word for word, but it's something close to this. I said, what I wouldn't give to play a game like The Last of Us. I said that, and one of the Naughty Dog representatives in the front row of GAConf almost immediately said, oh, we need to talk to this guy. So after my speech was over, they did indeed pull me aside. We talked for about an hour, just generally about accessibility, what a game would take to become accessible, and so on and so forth. Just kind of really generally. Like, I really, honestly, genuinely did not know that anything else was going to happen after that. I did not know. But I did kind of think that, like, I kind of felt at home doing this. Like, I felt that this is where I belong. This is what I should be doing. And that got confirmed only a couple weeks later when I received an email from Naughty Dog requesting that I come down to the studio and sell the entire team on accessibility. And the rest is history, as they say. Apparently, I did that pretty well.
Awesome, awesome. So
That
then
was a
you
very long
decided
answer, but I hope that was okay.
it was perfect. So then you decided I basically want to stream, right?
So yeah, so going forward a little bit further now,
Yes.
I've sold the idea of accessibility to Naughty Dog. I have started working on the game, started officially working on The Last of Us 2. They agreed, they hired me. I'm working on The Last of Us 2 now. And I knew that this is what I want my career to be. I want my career to be accessibility. I want it to be advocating for it, making it happen via consulting, all that stuff. I wanted to do all of it. So I left a full-time job. I worked at a call center for 10 years, and I left to pursue this crazy dream of mine. And when I left, I did it with a plan. And part of that plan was streaming. So the whole idea behind everything, this is still true today. The whole idea behind everything I do is that everything should feed into everything else in some way. So streaming feeds into my advocacy work as a consultant, or as kind of a general accessibility personality, because it allows me to show games that are accessible to other blind gamers that maybe don't know it or just are curious, and also show games that are not accessible. I actually make a point to stream games I can't play very well, and I do live reviews of them. And I do that because I want to attract the attention of game developers, which I then hope will then hire me as a consultant. So everything feeds in everything else. So typically what I do is I do these live reviews on stream, and sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not. But even when they're not, we will talk about them live on stream. I'll get the feedback of my viewers about what they think. I'll give my own feedback on what I think works and what I think doesn't work. And we'll keep it positive. We're not there to say this game sucks, it's terrible, it's awful, never play it. We're not there for that. We're there to speculate on what it would take to make this game accessible. And then what I'll try to do is I'll try to get that sent off to the people that made the game, the developers of the game, whatever that game is. And the hope is that they at the very least, just listen to and acknowledge what we've said. That's the hope, but that's the least hope. At the most, maybe they pull me in to work on the game. You never know. So streaming is that. Streaming is a lot of things. It's a way to show blind gamers games. It's a way to show sighted gamers what blind gaming is like, and it's a way to show game devs what could be done, what is being done, and what could be done better for game accessibility. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, before you know it, your dream has been realized.
I mean, yes and no. The interesting thing about this is, for a long time in my life, I didn't know that this was my dream. I didn't know that this is what I really wanted to do. I've gone through a lot of different things that I decided I wanted to do when I was younger. There was a time when I wanted to be an inventor when I was a little kid.
Yes.
And then for a whole lot of my teens, I wanted to be an actor. And I still kind of do that today. I still do the occasional bit of voice acting because I do like acting. I do have a passion for that as well. Perhaps not as big a one as I thought. Perhaps not as big a one as I have for accessibility now. But certainly I do have a passion for it. I do enjoy it. So yeah, I wanted to be an actor for a while. And now here I am doing this, and I do love it. I do love it dearly, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's cool. Abdullah, it's your turn now.
So, Brandon, my question is, have you tried to reach studios before The Last of Us? I mean, like in this year's 2016, 2017, or the first real opportunity is The Last of Us, and why The Last of Us specifically?
Well, I think this is pretty much already covered in my previous answers, but I'll kind of go over the Cliff Notes version. So this wasn't my career before The Last of Us 2. It just wasn't. I would occasionally, yes, I would occasionally reach out and provide like little bits of feedback where I could, just trying to help out a little bit where I could. But nothing major happened back then. The Last of Us 2 was the very first major thing to happen, and really, the reason for The Last of Us 2, there wasn't really a big reason behind it. I mean, of course, I would, I was delighted to be brought onto that project, but really, if you think about it, it really was a combination of luck and also taking advantage of an opportunity. If Naughty Dog hadn't been at GA-Conf, then Last of Us 2 doesn't happen. Simple as that. So it's a lot of different factors, but since I made the decision, since I am now, locked in, since I decided that this would indeed be the career that I pursued, now I regularly reach out and try to get in touch with studios to get some things rolling. So, yeah, not so much back then, but definitely a lot more now.
Yeah, that's cool. Also, we heard that The Last of Us 1, The Last of Us Remake will have audio description built into the game as a first PlayStation game will have this feature. What your comment on that, and what do you think of it?
Well, it's pretty revolutionary. This is audio description done, on a professional level. So like it's pretty great. Like it doesn't the clips we heard, they don't sound like they're like half baked. Like they don't sound like they're done by some unprofessional person that's just like in the booth reading a thing. It's audio description, and it's really, really cool, and it's in a video game, and that's awesome. That's tremendous. It's revolutionary. It's the next step forward in accessibility for video games, in my opinion.
Rakan, it's your turn.
Oh, okay. So, Brandon, did you think the future will be bright for the blind accessibility in games?
Oh yeah, there's no question. There's no question. Number one, I'm already working on things I can't tell you guys about. So that's number one. Number two, we're already seeing examples pop up all over the place. The recently Xbox published As Dusk Falls turned out to be fully accessible. I mean, hip hip hooray for that! Like that's fantastic. We have 1428 Shadows over Silesia coming out next month. I mean, we have God of War Ragnarok, which is apparently going to be fully accessible to the blind as well. I mean, this is all in the same year. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This is the accessibility train, or the accessibility snowball, or however you want to look at it. It's rolling, and it's rolling faster and faster all the time. And I think that we're only going to see more and more of this as time goes on. More accessible titles, more things we'll be able to enjoy and play in the same way as everyone else. And this accessibility is inspiring other people to make their accessibility of their own. I was reached out to by the developers of 1428 Shadows over Silesia, who told me that I am, and this is their words, not mine. I'm not making this up. This is what they said, not me. They said that I am actually the, quote, spiritual father of the accessibility of their game, because it is inspired by The Last of Us 2. So the reason 1428's accessibility exists, or at least the blind accessibility exists, is because of Last of Us 2. So that snowball is definitely rolling and getting bigger. So yeah, 100%. The future is very bright. I cannot wait to see what the next few years hold.
You're right. So my other question is about Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Oh boy. Let me ask you this. Did you see my big Twitter rant? Because I had a big Twitter rant, but the rant was not against the game. It was actually against some people who were kind of going after a feature of the game, and in a way I didn't like. So Street Fighter 6 has a feature where it basically has built-in commentary, and the commentary in Street Fighter 6 is made to sound kind of like a competition, like you're at Evo or something like that. You're fighting at Evo or something, and that's the way it works. But the thing is, and so the general reaction to this feature is that it's annoying. People don't like it. And I've even seen other blind people say this as well. I don't like this. This is terrible. Why would anyone want this?
You're right.
Right. And so I kind of went off a little bit because I watched a video done by a very prominent content creator who goes by Maximilian Dude, a very, very good guy, very, very cool content creator. He was invited to play Street Fighter 6 early at an event, and he recorded a bunch of video of it. And in this video, there is a lot of footage containing the commentary feature. So I listened very carefully to that footage, and I learned that the commentary feature gives you a bunch of information. A bunch of information. It's insane how much it tells you. It tells you who has the life lead every now and then. It tells you, when someone's super gauge is full. I can't remember what it's called. They call it a different thing now, but it's when that's full. Drive gauge, I believe it's called. Yeah. It tells you when someone is low on drive gauge. It tells you if someone's blocking too much, which I believe also decreases your drive gauge. It's a lot of things. It tells you so much, so much. It even tells you what moves people are using too, by name sometimes. And so I was like, hold up a second. How can people hate this, especially blind people? Okay, I understand that eventually you're going to want to turn it off. I understand that because eventually you're going to get more used to the game. You're going to know what everything is already. You're going to have a better sense of when your drive gauge is full or when it's getting low, or how much each thing takes from your drive gauge, so you know how much you're using. You'll get a sense for that stuff. I know that's how fighting games work. You get a sense for all these things. I know that. But when you're first starting out, when you launch that game for the first time and start playing it and start messing around with the characters, trying to figure out who you like, who you don't like, who's your main going to be, learn the moves, all that stuff. Why wouldn't you want it on? Why wouldn't you want every ounce of information you can absorb that you can't see on screen, by the way? Like, it tells you things you can't see. Why wouldn't you want that at first until you get those senses that you always get as a fighting game player? Why wouldn't you want that to help you develop? I can't imagine. I'm definitely going to have it on. The first time I play it, probably the first several times I play that game, that commentary feature will be on, and I will enjoy it. Oh, and by the way, it's also really well designed in general. Like, I really wish sighted people didn't hate it as much as they did, because it's really cool. Like, just in general, taking all the accessibility stuff out of the way for a second, just in general, the commentary feature is so well designed that it actually builds up as the intensity of the match builds up. As the match goes on, the commentator gets like more and more excited, more and more like loud and like, upbeat, and it's really well designed. I cannot believe it's getting this much hate for something that's so well done. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, that's my rant. I am looking forward to it though, much more than Street Fighter V.
Me either. I can't wait to play it.
Me too.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
Look forward to it.
I didn't play any Street Fighter game, but maybe that will be my next game. So I generally play only Mortal Kombat, but maybe
Oh, yeah.
I will add Street Fighter to the collection. So it's like accessibility feature, by the way. I feel that, and if it's optional, I don't know why they rant about it. They speak about it, and they didn't like it. It's optional, from what I
Wait,
understand.
you can turn it off, yeah, whenever you want.
Actually, I hope they will include actually vibration this time. Try Street Fighter
I hope so
5
too. I hope so too.
with no
I don't know.
vibration.
I don't know if they have or not. I don't think the videos that I watched talked about vibration, but I hope they do.
So
Yeah,
is
I
it in
hope so.
stereo, the game?
It is, yeah. It is in stereo, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
The
That's
audio
cool.
is very, very good. The audio is very well designed.
That's awesome. So right now, Brandon, we'd like to share our experiences with you when it comes to blind accessibility.
Sure.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, go for it.
So go
But,
ahead, Rakan.
so go ahead, Rakan.
Okay, so I my experience in video games, it's not really good though, because I bought a lot of games. I thought it was accessible. From what I understand, the video said a blind accessibility review. So I bought this game, and I bought a lot of games. It cost me over maybe at least $300. So I bought these games, tried to play it. Unfortunately, I cannot play it. So from one of these games is Spider-Man Marvel, or
Yeah,
Marvel
okay.
Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA
Oof.
V, a lot of games. But then I went down from PlayStation. Even the screen reader, as you know, the text to speech on PlayStation 4 only available in the US version. Excuse me.
Yeah, I know.
And then I tried several times to get back to PlayStation and play, but unfortunately I can't. So I left the PlayStation, started play on my computer. In 2020, I heard that there is accessible game came out called The Last of Us Part 2, and I just, I can't believe it. So I said, "What?"
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it after that
Yes.
experience.
I said, "What? No, I will not buy it again."
Yeah, I totally understand.
So, so I saw a couple videos actually. One of them is your video reviewing the game, and then I saw Liam Irvin video when he played. When I saw his video, I just closed the YouTube application, then go to a application here work in Saudi Arabia, deliver games, electronic stuff, and a lot of stuff. I saw the game. Well, I can't believe it was $59. Too much, it's not expensive like Red Dead Redemption 2, which cost me over maybe $70 and a lot of games. So I bought this game, but I can't play it. I tried to play it, but I'm too scared about it. Maybe it's not going to work. Maybe it's not accessible.
Yep.
But then I turned on the game. Turns out it's really accessible. So
You know,
unfortunately,
it's pretty accessible, yeah. Sorry, I'm just joking around.
yeah, sure. When I turned the game for the first time, the text to speech doesn't goes on. So I said, "Yeah, I know it's not accessible." So I called my sister to try to turn on the game for me. Unfortunately, she said, "Take the controller and do it." She didn't want to tell me, so I take the controller, press the down directional key, and then it's just said text to speech off.
I know what happened. She saw it on screen, I bet she saw that was the first option, and she was like, "No, you do it."
Yes. So when I hear that, I kind of get a little bit nervous. I don't want to play the game. I want to leave it. And then I turn it on, set up the whole game by myself. And then I played the game, and believe me, I didn't leave the game until maybe 10 hours long. 10 hours instead. So my father just said to me, "Come on, go to sleep." And I said, "No. Do you want me to sleep? This is the first accessible game I played in my life." So this
That's
is my
amazing.
experience. And now I am hunting the platinum trophy. And unfortunately, it's a little bit hard because there
Yeah, it
is
is.
the artifacts, the 200
Yes.
Strange
collectibles.
artifact. Yeah.
Downtown
So
Seattle especially is difficult. It's something I want to assure you guys that not only am I aware of the difficulty with getting the platinum with that game, but I've made sure that they are as well. Just throwing that out there. Just I want you to know that stuff has been heard.
So, is there any way? I'm sorry for asking about this, but is there any way to get the platinum without sighted person?
So honestly, no, not really. There is the navigation assistance for Last of Us 2 doesn't work well enough in downtown Seattle specifically to get all the locations unlocked. So that one trophy, you can get all the other artifacts, but that one trophy will hold you up from the platinum because of the locations and the size of downtown Seattle and how separated some of the locations are from each other. You can find most of them, but you'll usually miss at least two. And that's why I just kind of want to say, I know, I know that it doesn't work. I know, and I have made it clear to them because I kind of never stopped. Like after Last of Us 2 came out, I didn't just stop working with them after that. I kept giving them feedback, both feedback that I had and feedback based on what other people were experiencing, what other people told me as well. So I want to assure you that they do know that they kind of screwed up with that because they intended for the blind to be able to platinum the game on their own. All I can say to that is we are sorry, and to be fair, as good an attempt as it was, because Last of Us 2 was a really good attempt. Keep in mind, it is worth mentioning, and I'm not trying to make excuses or anything, but keep in mind that even though it was that good, it was also Naughty Dog's first attempt at blind accessibility, their first attempt. So I'm pretty sure in future games, they'll take these lessons and they'll learn from them, and it'll be even better. So that's all I can really say. I am sorry that it is this difficult to get the platinum, but I'm glad you enjoyed the game.
Yes. No, don't worry. We have our friend here, Brandon, who can talk to them and tell them what we really need. Thank you so much.
I've already done that because you're not the first person to bring that up to me, and I'm aware of it too. So.
Yeah. Also about I don't know if you deliver this feedback to them or not, or you can deliver it. Tell them about it. The scan feature, I hope if we can if we scan we can choose the thing that we wanna scan it
That you want to go for.
yeah,
Yeah.
or saves or the other options because sometimes
Yes.
when I scan sometimes it take me to a door or something, and the game is progress. I can't go
Yep.
back to the
Yep.
item or save.
Yep, I'm totally with you on that as well. And I also want to assure you that I have already given them that exact feedback as well.
Oh,
You'd be surprised how much I can't talk about all the stuff that we did. So basically, the way it is now, I can talk about a lot with Last of Us 2, but what I can't talk about is iterations. I can't talk about what something was before it was something else, if that makes any sense. But I will say that you would be surprised how many design discussions we had over the scan, trying to get it right. And there was time concerns to worry about and things like that. But yes, I did represent that feedback to them after the game was launched, because I had the same problem, and so did every other blind person as well. And so again, yes, 100% acknowledged. It is a problem, and they are aware of it. Future games, guys. Future games. First attempt.
You're right.
yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. I just want to say something to Brandon. Yesterday, I was recording video explaining the audio description feature for The Last of Us remake on my channel.
Yeah.
I take the video from PlayStation, I think, but I make their channel visible so people can go and subscribe to this channel. Anyway, I translate the video. I swear, I just keep smiling. I try to stop, be a little bit official with that, but unfortunately, I keep smiling and laughing. I can't believe that I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play with Joel character. I can't believe that.
It's coming full circle, isn't it?
Yes.
Full circle. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
So I have another question, Brandon. We heard that in the last one, part one, they removed the prone and the dash. Do you think that will affect our playing? Like, it will make it difficult for us? We will face problems because of that, or everything?
Well, I'm gonna get vague on you here. There are things that I cannot say right now, but what I will say is no, and that's all I'll say.
Oh, that's nice.
Why are you worried, guys? You don't have to be worried, guys.
All right,
Everything will be fine. Yeah.
let's go with your experience, guys.
So
So,
for me,
Abdullah, what's your experience?
For me, when I heard The Last of Us Part 2 will be accessible, I couldn't stop about searching about the first game. I listened to walkthroughs and I always listened to the soundtrack. And I pre-ordered the game before it's released, maybe in 1 week or two. I didn't have a PlayStation at that time, so I borrow my brother's PlayStation, and I played with it. And the first time when it got released, it's like in 7 a.m. my time, Saudi Arabia time. So I couldn't sleep that day. When it gets released, I start playing from 7 a.m. Then I am not sure what happened exactly. Maybe I was stuck in some point. Then when I turned off the PlayStation, I saw what time. Now it's 12 p.m. Like I spent 5 hours without feeling about it.
Yep, 5 hours of nothing time.
Yeah. So go ahead, Khalid.
Great.
All right. About me, actually, I was so surprised that it will be blind accessible. The thing is, I tried so many games, and I watched some reviews that basically state the fact that this game is accessible. But as we all know, accessibility is so wide. You can't just say this game is accessible. Every game that's accessible, it varies from one disability to another. And especially for any blind person who wants to try any game, it's like something else, something new. So when I finally made my mind, I got The Last of Us Part 2, and I couldn't believe when the text to speech was basically telling me what to do in the game. It was so emotional, and I basically cleared the game within 1 week or so.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yes,
Great
I
job.
remember actually me tweeting about the ground zero level
Oh,
slash difficulty,
yes.
and I remember
Gotta love,
you reaching out to me. I
gotta
think
love it.
once you told me just try it and try and try.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, actually, you know what? Now that you mentioned it, I do remember that. I do remember those tweets. Yeah.
yeah, and actually, when I read about The Last of Us after that, when I was done with the game, apparently they made the sprinting option automatic for us before and that they released another update, and they basically say, hey guys, you must do it your own.
So
There was yes,
I
there
think
was
what
a
you're talking about
time.
is, I think what you're talking
Yes,
about is traversal assistance because that does do some stuff for you at certain points. Sometimes it's very helpful. It's actually more helpful than you realize. It's actually one of my favorite features that we have because it does things that are so subtle that you don't know that it's doing them. So like
yes, yes.
one really great example of traversal assistance doing things in the background is if you break a window and you're about to jump through the window and the
Mm.
game knows it, it'll give you
Mhm.
the jump prompt. And then when you press X to do the jump, if you are slightly off, because the actual animation of jumping through a window actually requires you to be very precise and face the
Yes,
window exactly. But
yes,
if you're slightly off when you press X, traversal assistance will actually just kind of grab you for a second and turn you so you're facing exactly where you're supposed to be facing and then jump through the window. And you don't even know it's doing it, but I know it's doing it because I helped to design the feature.
actually, I read that in their blog. Like they released like some update notes in the accessibility page for The Last of Us Part Two, and they mentioned
Yeah,
that like
yeah, it's a
at
really great
first.
feature. It does
Yes,
more than that too, but that's just one example of what it does.
yes, awesome. So,
Yeah, that's
Okay,
really
uh,
cool.
guys.
That's a really great,
just
great story.
go ahead, Rakan.
Just want to tell you something. The shipment of the game for The Last of Us Part Two. I forgot to mention that. I said it was $59, right? And
Yeah.
then when I went to pre-order the game, I forgot that there's a stuff in my cart in this
Oh
application.
no. Oh
Yes,
no.
and then I buy it all with over
Oh no.
$118. And I said,
Oh
"What?
no.
Please, no." And then I said, "Okay, it's for The Last of Us Part 2. I will not say anything." And then after I check on them to see when they will deliver the shipment, I found out that The Last of Us Part 2 will take 2 days and the other things will take 3 days. And I said, "No, please. 5 days? I can't believe it." So I start to call them and I said, "Hurry! I want my stuff. I'm going to travel. I'm going to go to another country.
Oh
I'm going to
wow.
go to the
Oh
space.
wow.
Just hurry."
Wow.
And then they
That's
delivered the
tremendous.
game. I cannot explain my feeling. I can't explain my feeling, like I said. But thank you so much. I did mention that in your Twitch channel. I did mention that before. You might encounter someone named Rakan underscored
Yes.
300. I don't understand my name. All right, so that's what I got.
Hey, I
Awesome.
appreciate all of it. That's really, really cool.
So,
This is really
yes,
making
go
my
ahead.
day right now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we're so grateful for you. Actually, we can't thank you enough.
Like I said, there's more where that came from. I can promise you that. I'm not done. I'm working on stuff. You guys are gonna love it.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure.
I want to request something from you, please. Can you please
As
say
long as it's not what it is that I'm working on.
no, 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 no? Can you say there's more when that came from using Batman voice because you're like official actor? I did heard you
You see
before, but
the
I don't know.
Batman?
Wait,
There's more where
I
that
don't
came
know.
from.
Oh yes, you are him. Okay, guys, it is him.
Yeah,
That's
he's
right.
him. All right.
I'm blind man.
I really started to love you from now, Brandon.
That's
Thank you
great.
so much. I really appreciate. I just joking with you.
No, it's
And
all good.
no, you're really official actor, like official actor. I swear.
I mean, I do have acting credits, so there is that.
That's
So,
good.
yeah,
I'm actually
yes.
several voices in a video game that we can't play. The game is not accessible, but I am voices in it, so yay for that.
Which game is it released or it will be released?
It's released. It's called Pillars of Eternity.
I should check about it and hear your acting and the stuff.
Me either.
Yeah,
Looking
there
forward to
are.
it.
I was able to find some videos that have my voice in them, so if you look hard enough, you can find them. But sadly, the game is not playable by the blind.
But at least we'll be able to hear your performance.
Yes, indeed you
That's
will.
what counts. Yeah. So, guys,
Indeed, you shall.
do you have other questions, guys, for our guest?
No, I don't have
No,
any other
I think
questions.
that's it for me. But I want to thank you again, Brandon. You changed my life and I think our life. Like I didn't think that I'll be able to play AAA game and finish it without any sighted help, and I did that because of you. And I bought a PlayStation 5, and although some people told me, why are you going to get only a PlayStation only for one game, but I didn't care about that, and I'm sure that the future is bright, and there is more games coming, and it will be worth it.
Yeah,
I can promise you it will be. I can promise that.
I just have one thing. Um, you know, before I say thank you, the PlayStation or Sony did something pretty great actually. They did support the Arabic language and the screen reader. So
Yes.
there's a lot of people, maybe a lot, yes, didn't understand the English language, and a lot buy it because it supports the Arabic language. So,
Yeah.
and after that, I can't thank you enough, Brandon. If I say thank you once, it was not enough. I have to say it several times, but I will say thank you so much. I am strongly agree with Abdullah for what he said about you change our life. Yes, you changed it. You really did.
My goal is to change the entire industry. That's my honest goal. I want to bring blind accessible experiences to the blind community that they've never had before, and to do that, I'll have to change the entire industry, and that's what I want to do. I want to go genre by genre. That's the way I see it. Giving them experiences that that we've always wanted. So I'm going to keep doing it.
So,
And
Brandon, yes, go ahead, Rankin.
And we will support you. I will keep sure that I deliver your accounts and everything to the people I know. I will
Totally.
try.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Yeah, sure. Also,
That's all I ask.
I have a question from a long time. I was thinking about it and ask you about it, but not sure what is the best way. But I think now it's my opportunity and my chance to ask it, ask this question. So my question is like, if we, I will speak for myself. If I want a game, if I want a game be blind accessible, and I like the genre of the game and the other stuff, is it okay? Like if I send them your consultant page and tell them about you?
Sure. I mean, you're certainly welcome to do that. Also, don't hesitate to leave your own feedback too. Like whatever you think a game could use, definitely leave your own feedback as well. Because the more opinions we get on this stuff, the better for all of us. A lot of developers nowadays have accessibility email addresses. Like if a game is published by Square, they have an accessibility contact email. EA has one too.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think Warner Brothers has one. I want to say now. I think they do. Yeah. I think I emailed them once about Mortal Kombat. Yeah. So there's a lot more developers that are doing that now, and take advantage of that. But yeah, if you want to refer them to my consulting, feel free. I'll take it. I'll take the work every time.
I actually can't wait to try The Last of Us Part 1 and feel the haptics and
Yeah,
everything.
me too.
It will be something awesome and a game changer. And
All of us, actually.
it
Finally,
will
I
be,
will be able
yes,
to try the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback
Yeah.
and the other stuff.
Yeah.
it will be the really
that
first game that we try.
that resistance on the bow, man. I tell you. I don't know.
Yes. So, Brandon, since now you basically have Arab fans, what do you say to them?
I have my very own fan club. I should
Awesome.
I should get you guys officially licensed as the Brian Nicole fan club. No, I'm not.
Thanks, Brandon.
I don't have that much of an ego. I don't think I can do that. But it's really great. It's really appreciated. I really do thank you guys for telling me your stories and inviting me to be interviewed like this, because I do enjoy talking about this stuff, and I'm glad that my work is is reaching so many people now, and creating such a positive effect around the world. It's really it's really an honor. It's an honor, and it's something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life, because this has changed me too. You know, you guys talked about how I've changed your lives. Well, it's changed me quite a bit as well, because it has allowed me to become something as a person, and it's very, very powerful. It's very humbling, but very powerful as well. So thank you guys as well.
You
You guys
deserve
are awesome.
all of the praise, and you deserve all the best, Brandon. Thank you for joining us today.
I'm glad to do it.
I got a question. I'm sorry. So
One more question.
yes, did you have message to say to the blind Arabic community?
Sure. First of all, thank you guys in the blind Arabic community for watching this video. Thanks for listening to the words I have to say. Thanks for listening to these guys with all their questions and things and all that fun stuff. And if you have not tried The Last of Us 2, I hope you give it a shot. If you have tried it and you liked it, great. If you have questions about it or want to talk about it, reach out. I'm very open to discussion pretty much whenever. I might not respond right away because I'm a very busy person these days, but reach out, and I'm happy to talk about this stuff. And just know that you are appreciated, and that I am happy to keep bringing you things that you can appreciate along with everyone else, which is what I will continue to do. So yeah, just thanks for being a part of this.
And that does it for the interview. Thank you very much for listening into this interview, and we hope to see you soon, Brandon. Bye.
100%. You definitely will.
Sure.
Thank you.
Bye.